Won $40 million, but couldn't tell anyone. Here's why. I sit in my truck outside the house, engine still ticking as it cools down. My hands are on the steering wheel, and I am staring at the yellow glow coming from the living room window. The light means Derek is home. It means I have to go inside and deal with him. It means another night of swallowing my rage and pretending everything is fine. I do not want to go in there. My shift at the warehouse ended 2 hours ago, but I have been driving around, burning gas I cannot afford, just to delay this moment. My back aches from lifting boxes all day. My boots smell like sweat and cardboard dust. There's a coffee stain on my shirt from when I knocked over my thermos during lunch break. I look like hell. I feel like hell. And the last thing I want is to walk into that house and see my brother sprawled on the couch like a king in a castle he does not deserve. But I have no choice. 3 years ago, I had choices. 3 years ago, I was 24 years old with a clean credit score, a decent job, and a future that looked halfway promising. I was not rich, but I was free. I could have moved out. I could have started my own life. I could have done 1,000 things differently. Then Mom got sick. Cancer is a thief. It does not just steal your health. It steals your time, your money, your dignity, and your hope. Mom fought it for 18 months, and Dad fought right alongside her, paying for treatments that insurance refused to cover. Experimental drugs, out-of-network specialists, trips to clinics 3 states away because some doctor promised a miracle that never came. The medical bills piled up like snow in a blizzard. Dad worked double shifts at the factory, but it was not enough. It was never going to be enough. The mortgage payments started slipping. First 1 month late, then 2, then 3. The bank sent letters. Certified mail. Warnings printed in bold red ink that might as well have been written in blood. They were going to take the house. Mom was dying, and the bank was going to kick her out of the only home she had ever known. The house where she raised us. The house where she planted roses in the front yard every spring. The house where she baked cookies every Sunday and left the windows open so the smell would drift into the neighborhood. That house was her entire world, and they were going to rip it away from her while she was too weak to even get out of bed. Dad called a family meeting. Me, Derek, and him sitting around the kitchen table like we were planning a funeral, which, in a way, we were. Dad explained the situation. The bank wanted to foreclose. The only way to stop it was to refinance the mortgage, get better terms, lower payments, something we could actually afford. But Dad's credit was trashed from all the medical debt. He could not qualify. He needed someone to co-sign, someone with good credit, someone the bank would trust. Derek was 35 years old. He had been married for 6 years to a woman named Stacy who worked part-time at a nail salon and spent the rest of her time complaining about how hard her life was. Derek had no job. Well, he had jobs, plural, but none of them lasted more than a few months. He would get hired, show up late a few times, mouth off to a manager, and get fired. Then he would sit at home playing video games and betting on sports he did not understand, racking up debts he had no intention of paying. His credit score was a joke. The bank would not even look at him. So Dad looked at me. I will never forget the expression on his face. Desperation, shame, hope, all mixed together in a way that made my chest hurt. He did not want to ask me. He knew what he was asking, but he had no other options. He told me they needed me to co-sign the refinance mortgage. Just a signature. Just my name on a piece of paper. It would not cost me anything. He promised. Derek would make the payments. Derek would take care of everything. I just needed to help them get approved. And like an idiot, I believed him. I thought I was saving my mother. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought family meant something. I signed the papers. The bank approved the refinance. The foreclosure stopped. Mom got to stay in her house. For 6 more months, she lived in that house, in her own bed, surrounded by her things. When she finally passed, it was peaceful, quiet, exactly the way she wanted. I thought I had done something good. Then the will got read. Mom and Dad had updated it a few months before she died. I was not there when they did it. I did not even know about it until the lawyer called us in. Derek and I sat in a sterile office that smelled like old leather and air freshener, while some guy in a cheap suit explained how our parents had divided their assets. The house went to Derek. Not to both of us. Not split 50-50. Just Derek. The lawyer explained the reasoning, reading directly from the document in that flat, emotionless voice lawyers use when they're delivering bad news. Mom and Dad believed that I was smart, capable, and responsible. I would be fine no matter what. But Derek needed help. Derek had a wife to support. Derek was struggling. So they left him a house, hoping it would give him stability, hoping it would force him to grow up and take responsibility. I sat there, numb, trying to process what I was hearing. I had co-signed the mortgage. My name was on the loan. I was legally responsible for every single payment. But the house, the actual property, the title, the deed, all of that belonged to Derek. I owned the debt. He owned the asset. I was a co-signer on a mortgage for a house I would never own. Derek did not even look surprised. He just nodded, like this was exactly what he expected, like it was his birthright. Stacy squeezed his hand and smiled. The lawyer slid the paperwork across the desk. Derek signed. It was done. I wanted to scream. I wanted to flip the table. I wanted to grab that smug look off Derek's face and shove it down his throat. But I did not, because Mom had just died, because Dad was sitting right there, gray and hollow and broken, because I told myself that maybe, just maybe, this would work out. Maybe Derek would step up. Maybe he would finally act like an adult. Dad passed away 8 months later. Heart attack. The doctor said it was stress, but I knew the truth. He died of a broken heart. He died because watching Mom slip away had destroyed something fundamental inside him, and his body just gave up after the funeral. It was just me and Derek, and that is when everything fell apart. Derek never made a single mortgage payment. Not one. He would tell me he was going to. He would swear up and down that he had the money, that he would transfer to the account, that he just needed a few more days. But the days would turn into weeks, and the weeks would turn into months, and the payment would never come. So I paid. I paid because if I did not, the bank would come after me. My credit score would implode. I would get sued. I would lose everything I had worked for. The mortgage was in my name. I was responsible. The bank did not care that I did not own the house. They did not care about fair or unfair. They cared about money, and I was the one they would chase if the payments stopped. Every month, I would scrape together $2,347. That was the payment. Principal, interest, taxes, insurance, all bundled together into one brutal number that ate up more than half my paycheck. I worked overtime. I skipped meals. I drove a truck that was held together with duct tape and prayer because I could not afford to replace it. Meanwhile, Derek lived rent-free in a house worth $350,000. I tried to get out of it. I called the bank, explained the situation, begged them to remove me from a loan. They said no. The only way to remove a co-signer was to refinance the mortgage in Derek's name alone. And Derek could not refinance. His credit was still garbage. No bank in the country would touch him. I was trapped. I asked Derek to sell the house. We could split the proceeds, pay off the mortgage, and both walk away. He refused. He said it was his house, his inheritance, and he was not going anywhere. Stacy backed him up, talking about how they were planning to start a family, how they needed the space, how I was being selfish for even suggesting it. Selfish. I was paying for their house, and I was the selfish one. I talked to a lawyer, a real one this time, not some estate attorney reading from a script. I paid $200 for a consultation. Money I did not have, just to hear him confirm what I already knew. Derek owned the house. I owned the debt. There was nothing I could do unless Derek agreed to cooperate. And Derek had no reason to cooperate. He had everything he wanted. A free house. A personal ATM. A younger brother too scared of ruining his credit to fight back. The lawyer told me I was screwed. So here I am, 3 years later, sitting in my truck outside a house that is legally mine to pay for but not mine to live in, staring at a light in the window and knowing exactly what I'm going to find when I walk through that door. I take a breath. I grab my keys. I open the door and step out into the cold evening air. The front yard is a mess. The grass is overgrown. There are weeds choking the flower beds where Mom used to plant her roses. One of the shutters is hanging crooked, and nobody has bothered to fix it. The place looks tired, neglected, like nobody who lives here actually cares about it. I walk up the driveway, my boots crunching on gravel. I can hear the television through the walls. Some sports show. Loud announcers screaming about a game that does not matter. I unlock the front door and step inside. The smell hits me first. Stale beer, old pizza, the faint sour tang of garbage that should have been taken out days ago. The living room is dim except for the glow of the TV. There are empty cans on the coffee table, a pizza box balanced on the arm of the couch, crumbs on the carpet, and there, sprawled across the couch like a beach whale, is Derek. He is wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt that is 2 sizes too small. His belly hangs over the waistband. He has not shaved in days, and his hair is greasy. He has a beer in one hand and the remote in the other. He does not look up when I walk in. He just takes a sip and keeps watching the screen. I stand there for a moment, letting the anger build. Then I speak. I tell him we need to talk about the mortgage payment. My voice is calm, controlled. I have learned not to yell, because yelling does not work with Derek. He just tunes it out. Derek finally glances at me. He looks annoyed, like I have interrupted something important. He tells me he does not have it. I ask him what he means. The payment is due in 3 days. We agreed he would cover his half this month. He promised. Derek shrugs. He says he spent the money. Car repairs. Stacy needed new tires. Things came up. I feel my jaw tighten. I ask him what I am supposed to do. I cannot cover the whole payment again. I am already behind on my own rent. My landlord is threatening to evict me. I am paying for 2 places. This house that I cannot live in because Stacy made it clear 2 years ago that I was not welcome here anymore. She said I made her uncomfortable. She said the house was too small for 3 adults. She said a lot of things, and Derek just nodded along, and suddenly I was the one who had to leave. So now I rent a cramped studio apartment across town and pay for the privilege of not living in a house I am financially responsible for. Derek takes another sip of beer. He looks at me with this lazy, almost amused expression. He tells me to figure it out. He says it is my name on the loan, not his. If I do not pay, the bank will wreck my credit, not his. He already has terrible credit. It does not matter to him. But me? I will be destroyed. Then he leans forward, and his voice shifts. It gets softer, more manipulative. He reminds me that I promised Mom. I promised I would take care of the family. I promised I would keep us together. He asks me if I am really going to break that promise now. He says Stacy is scared. He says they are barely hanging on. He asks me if I want to throw them out on the street. He calls me selfish. He says I always put myself first. He smiles when he says it. I stand there, frozen, as the full weight of it crashes down on me. He knows. He has always known. He is holding me hostage with my own financial reputation. He does not have to pay. He does not have to do anything, because if I let the mortgage default, I am the one who suffers. Not him. I am his prisoner. I want to hit him. I want to grab that beer out of his hand and smash it against the wall. I want to scream at him that this is not fair, that I saved this house, that I sacrificed everything for a family that does not even respect me. But I do not, because what would be the point? I turn around. I walk back out the door. I get in my truck. I sit there in the darkness, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turn white. 3 years. 3 years of this. 3 years of being used, manipulated, and trapped. 3 years of watching my brother live in luxury, while I drown in debt, and there is no way out. The bank will not release me. Derek will not cooperate. I cannot afford a lawyer to fight him. I cannot afford to let my credit implode. I am stuck. I lean my head back against the seat and close my eyes. Somewhere deep inside me, something breaks. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a quiet snap, like a thread pulled too tight for too long. I do not know how I am going to escape this, but I know I cannot keep living like this. Something has to change. I just do not know what. I drive for 20 minutes before I even know where I am going. My hands are shaking on the wheel. My chest feels tight, like someone has wrapped a steel band around my ribs and is slowly cranking it tighter. I cannot go back to my apartment. Not yet. I need to think. I need to breathe. I need to be anywhere that is not near Derek. I pull into a gas station on the edge of town. One of those big chain places with too many pumps and fluorescent lights that make everything look washed out and lifeless. The kind of place that smells like gasoline and burnt coffee and the faint chemical tang of windshield washer fluid. I park near the air pump and just sit there for a minute. The clock on the dashboard says it is almost 9. The gas station is mostly empty. A couple of trucks at the diesel pumps. A sedan getting filled up by a guy in a business suit who looks as tired as I feel. The convenience store glows like a beacon, all bright lights and primary colors. Try to convince you that buying overpriced junk food at 9 at night is a good idea. I realize I have not eaten since lunch. My stomach is a knot of stress and anger, but I should probably put something in it. I get out of the truck and walk toward the store. The automatic doors slide open with a soft hiss. The air inside is warm and smells like old hot dogs rotating on a greasy metal roller. There's a kid behind the counter, maybe 19, staring at his phone with a glazed expression of someone who has completely checked out of reality. The radio is playing some pop song I do not recognize. Everything is too bright, too normal, too ordinary for how I feel right now. I grab a cup and pour myself the cheapest coffee they have. It is thick and burnt and probably tastes like motor oil, but I do not care. I just need something hot to hold. I wander the aisles for a few minutes, not really looking at anything. Chips, candy, energy drinks, magazines with celebrities I do not know on the covers. My brain is still stuck in that living room, replaying Derek's words over and over. You promised, Mom. You are selfish. Figure it out. I stop in front of the lottery ticket display. It is one of those big plexiglass cases mounted to the wall, filled with scratch-offs in every color imaginable. Bright reds and gold and silvers, all screaming about jackpots and instant wins and life-changing money. The dreams of desperate people. Printed on cardboard and sold for $2 a pop. I have never been big on the lottery. I know the odds. I know it is basically a tax on people who are bad at math. But every once in a while, when life feels particularly heavy, I will buy a ticket. Just one. A tiny little rebellion against the universe. A $2 middle finger to the idea that hard work is the only way to get ahead. I bought one 3 days ago. A Mega Millions ticket. $5. 5 numbers I picked at random while standing in line at a different gas station, killing time before my shift. I reach into my wallet and pull it out. The kid at the counter does not even look up when I hand him the ticket. He just scans it with a little handheld scanner, the kind that beeps and flashes when it reads a barcode. The machine makes a sound, not the usual beep, a different sound, a chime, a melody, like a slot machine hitting a jackpot. The kid looks at the screen. His eyes go wide. He stammers something. He tells me to wait. He calls over his manager, a tired-looking woman in her 40s with a name tag that says Linda. She takes the ticket. She scans it again. She looks at the screen. She looks at me. She tells me I need to sign the back of the ticket right now. She tells me I need to call the lottery office in the morning. She tells me congratulations. I ask her how much I won. She shows me the screen. $40 million. I do not feel joy. I do not feel excitement. I do not feel relief. I feel terror. My hands are numb as I sign the back of the ticket. My signature looks shaky, like it was written by someone having a stroke. Linda is smiling at me, saying something about how this is the biggest win their store has ever had, how they will get a bonus for selling the winning ticket. The kid behind the counter is staring at me like I just sprouted wings. I mumble something that might be thank you. I take the ticket. I fold it carefully and put it in my wallet, in the little zipper compartment where I keep my Social Security card. I walk out of the store in a daze. $40 million. I sit in my truck and stare at the steering wheel. $40 million. That is enough to pay off the mortgage. Enough to tell Derek to go to hell. Enough to disappear and start a new life Somewhere he will never find me. Enough to fix everything. But I cannot, because in my state, lottery winners are not anonymous. I looked this up once, years ago, out of idle curiosity. Some states let you claim your winnings through a trust or an LLC, hiding your identity. But not here. Here, the Lottery Commission publishes your name, your face, your hometown. They do a press conference. They take photos of you holding one of those giant novelty checks. It is public record, which means Derek will find out. The moment I claim this ticket, my brother will know I have $40 million. And the second he knows, he will come for it. I can see it now, as clearly as if it has already happened. Derek will call me. He will congratulate me. He will remind me that we are family. He will say that Mom and Dad would have wanted us to share. He will guilt me, manipulate me, twist every word until I feel like the bad guy for even thinking about keeping the money. And when that does not work, he will sue me. He will claim the ticket was bought with household funds, shared money. He will argue that since I was paying the mortgage on his house, any spare cash I had was technically tied to our joint financial situation. He will say I owe him half, or more. He will drag me into court. He will tie up the winnings in legal battles that could last years. Or he will just blackmail me. He will threaten to stop cooperating with the mortgage entirely. He will let it default. He will destroy my credit, and then often make it all go away if I just give him a few $1 million. Just enough to make the problem go away. Just enough to keep me under his thumb forever. I grip the steering wheel so hard my knuckles crack. I cannot let him find out. Not until I am protected. Not until I have severed every legal and financial tie between us. Not until he has no power over me. I need him to sign the separation agreement. 6 months ago, I paid a lawyer $300 to draft a document called a General Release and Separation of Finances. It is basically a legal divorce between me and Derek, a piece of paper that says we have no claims on each other's money, property, or assets. We are financially independent. What is mine is mine. What is his is his. I brought it to Derek. I explained it calmly. I told him it would protect both of us. Clean boundaries. No more arguments about money. He laughed in my face. He said there was no way he was signing anything that let me off the hook. He said the current arrangement worked fine for him. He said if I did not like it, I could take him to court. And he was right. Taking him to court would cost money I did not have. And even if I won, which was not guaranteed, it would take months, maybe years. And in the meantime, I would still be responsible for that mortgage. So the document sat in a drawer in my apartment, and signed and useless. Until now. I sit in the truck, my brain working through the problem like a chess game. Derek is greedy. That is his weakness. If I tell him I won $40 million, he will never sign that paper. He will fight me for every penny. But if I tell him I won $50,000, just enough to be tempting, but not enough to make him lawyer up, he might take the bait. I need to make him think he is winning. I need to make him think he is robbing me. I get out of the truck and walk back into the gas station. Linda is still at the counter, chatting with the kid about something. She sees me and smiles, probably expecting me to buy champagne, or a lottery ticket for good luck, or some other cliche thing people do when they win. I walk past her to the display near the register. There, hanging on a small rack next to the real scratch-offs, is a section labeled prank and novelty items. Fake lottery tickets. The kind you give to someone as a joke. They look real. They feel real. And when you scratch them off, they always show a big win. $50,000. $100,000. Whatever number is printed on them. I grab one that says 50,000. I pay for it in cash. Linda gives me a weird look, but she does not say anything. I walk back to my truck with the fake ticket in my hand. This is it. This is the plan. I will go home tomorrow. I will act excited. I will tell Derek I won $50,000. I will wave the fake ticket in his face. And then I will offer him a deal. I will tell him he can have the entire $50,000. Every penny. But only if he signs the separation agreement. Derek will not be able to resist. $50,000 for signing a piece of paper He does not even understand. He will think I am an idiot. He will think he is scamming me. He will take the deal, sign the document, and laugh at how stupid I am. And the second that paper is signed, I am free. He will have no claim to the 40 million. None. The separation agreement will make it legally impossible for him to touch it, and by the time he realizes the ticket was fake, it will be too late. I lean back in the seat and close my eyes. This is not a plan born out of anger. This is not revenge. Not yet. This is survival. This is me playing the game the way Derek has been playing it for 3 years. This is me using his greed, his arrogance, his absolute certainty that I am too weak to fight back. He thinks I am a pawn. He is about to find out I learned how to play chess. I think about my parents. I think about the promise I made to take care of the family. And I realize that taking care of the family does not mean letting Derek destroy me. It does not mean sacrificing myself on the altar of his entitlement. Taking care of the family means protecting myself, because I am family too. I start the truck and pull out of the gas station. I drive home to my cramped studio apartment. I do not sleep. I spend the entire night sitting at my kitchen table, staring at 2 lottery tickets. One real, one fake. One is worth $40 million and my future. The other is worth $50,000 and my freedom. I rehearse what I'm going to say. I plan every word, every gesture, every reaction. I need to sell this. I need Derek to believe that I am just a dumb, lucky kid who does not know how to protect himself. I need him to think he is winning. By the time the sun comes up, I am ready. I am calm, focused, cold. Derek has spent 3 years teaching me that the world does not reward fairness. It rewards a person who is willing to do whatever it takes to get ahead. Fine. I am about to become his best student. I grab the fake lottery ticket. I grab the separation agreement from the drawer, where it has been sitting for 6 months, and I head to the house. It is time to set the trap. I practice my performance in the truck for 10 minutes before I go inside. I need to get this right. My hands need to shake. My voice needs a crack. I need to look like someone who just won the lottery and has no idea how to handle it. I need to be the naive little brother Derek has always thought I was. I take a deep breath. I grab the fake lottery ticket. I grab the folder with the separation agreement inside, and I burst to the front door like my hair is on fire. I am yelling before I even close the door behind me. I am screaming Derek's name. I am saying I won. I won. Oh my God, I actually won. Derek is on the couch, same as always, beer in hand. He looks annoyed at first, like I am interrupting his very important schedule of doing absolutely nothing. But then he sees my face. He sees the ticket in my hand. His expression changes. Stacy comes out of the bedroom, her hair in a messy bun, wearing pajama pants even though it is almost noon. She looks at me like I have lost my mind. I wave the ticket at them. I tell them I stopped at the gas station last night. I bought a scratch-off. Just one. Just for fun. I won $50,000. The room goes silent. Derek sits up. He puts his beer down. He stares at the ticket in my hand, like it is a rattlesnake. Stacy's mouth falls open. Then they both start talking at once. Derek is suddenly my best friend. He is congratulating me. He is saying he always knew I was lucky. He is reminding me that we are family. We are brothers. We stick together. This is amazing news for both of us. Stacy is already planning how to spend it. She is talking about a vacation. A new car, maybe some renovations on the house. She says this is exactly what they needed, what we needed. She corrects herself quickly. I let them talk. I let them get excited. I let them show me exactly who they are. Derek stands up and walks over to me. He claps me on the shoulder. He tells me he is proud of me. He asks to see the ticket. I pull it back. I tell him we need to talk first. His smile falters, just a little. I tell them I have been thinking. I have been trapped in this situation for 3 years. I have been paying for a house I do not own. I have been drowning in debt while they live rent-free. And I am tired. I am so tired. I tell him I want out. Derek's face goes cold. He asks me what I mean. I lay it out for them. Simple. Clean. I do not want to fight anymore. I do not want lawyers or arguments or family drama. I just want to walk away. I want my freedom, and I am willing to pay for it. I tell them they can have the ticket, the whole $50,000, every penny. But in exchange, they have to let me go. Derek laughs. He actually laughs. He asks me if I've lost my mind. He says $50,000 is not enough. He says we are family and family shares. He says I owe him at least half, maybe more, considering everything he has done for me. I almost break character. I almost ask him what exactly he has done for me besides ruin my credit and steal my money. But I do not. Instead, I pull out the folder. I tell him there's a document inside. A general release and separation of finances. I tried to get him to sign it 6 months ago, but he refused. Now I am offering him a deal he cannot refuse. He can have the entire $50,000. Not half, all of it, but only if he signs this paper and releases me from any future claims on my money or assets. Stacy grabs a folder and starts reading. Her lips move as she scans the legal language. She does not understand most of it, but she gets the gist. Derek will be giving up any right to Liam's finances in exchange for the lottery ticket. She looks at Derek. She tells him it is a good deal. Derek is smarter than Stacy, but not by much. He squints at me suspiciously. He asks me why I would give him the whole ticket just to sign a piece of paper. I tell him the truth, or at least a version of it. I tell him I am scared. I am scared he will take me to court. I am scared he will claim the ticket was bought with household money. I am scared he will tie this up in legal battles, and I will never see a dime. So I am offering him a clean trade. He gets the money. I get my freedom. Everyone wins. He thinks about this. I can see the gears turning in his head. $50,000 right now, guaranteed, versus the possibility of dragging me through court for months and maybe getting nothing. Greed wins. It always does. He reaches for the pen on the coffee table. I stop him. I tell him no. Not yet. I know him too well. I tell him that the second I hand over this ticket, he is going to claim I forced him to sign. He is going to say I manipulated him. He is going to run to a lawyer and try to undo the whole thing. So I need insurance. I pull out my phone. Derek's eyes narrow. He asks me what I am doing. I tell him I am recording this. I need him to state, clearly and on camera, that he is signing this document voluntarily, that he understands what it means, that nobody is forcing him. Stacy protests. She says that is ridiculous. She says I'm being paranoid. I shrug. I tell them it is my $50,000. These are my terms. If they do not like it, they do not have to sign. I start to put the ticket back in my pocket. Derek grabs my arm. He tells me to wait. He looks at Stacy. She nods. He looks back at me. He tells me fine. He will do it my way. I hit record on my phone. I prop it up on the coffee table, angled so it catches both of us in the frame. The red light blinks. The timestamp appears in the corner. I ask Derek to state his full name for the record. He does. Derek Andrew Thompson. I ask him if anyone is forcing him to sign this document. He says no. I ask him if he understands that by signing this general release and separation of finances, he is giving up any and all future claims to my money, assets, or property. He says yes. I ask him why he is signing it. He looks directly into the camera and tells me he is signing it voluntarily in exchange for the lottery ticket worth $50,000. It is perfect. Every word, every sentence. Legally airtight. Even the scummiest lawyer in the world could not undo this. Derek picks up the pen. He signs his name at the bottom of the document. His signature is messy and aggressive, like he is annoyed that I made him jump through hoops. Stacy signs as a witness. I stop the recording. I save the video. I send it to my email, to cloud storage, to 3 different backup locations. Then I hand Derek the lottery ticket. He snatches it out of my hand like I might change my mind. He holds it up to the light. He examines it. He scratches off the remaining silver coating, even though the numbers are already visible. $50,000. Stacy squeals. She hugs Derek. Derek is grinning like a kid on Christmas morning. He looks at me and shakes his head. He tells me I am an idiot. He tells me I just gave away $50,000 for a piece of paper that does not mean anything. He tells me I am the dumbest person he has ever met. I smile. I tell him he is probably right. I pick up the signed document. I fold it carefully and put in the folder. Then I walk toward the door. Derek calls after me. He asks me where I am going. I tell him I am leaving. I am done. The house is his. The mortgage is his problem now. I am not making another payment. He laughs. He tells me I cannot do that. He tells me the bank will destroy my credit. I turn around. I look him in the eye, and I tell him to read the fine print. He looks confused. He flips the lottery ticket over. On the back, in tiny letters, it says prank item, for entertainment purposes only, no cash value. Derek stares at it. His brain is trying to process what he is seeing. Stacy grabs the ticket out of his hand and reads it herself. Her face goes white. I pull out my phone. I open my banking app. I turn the screen toward them. Account balance, $40,372,614.18. I let them stare at it for a few seconds. Then I hit play on the video I just recorded. Derek's voice fills the room. I am signing it voluntarily in exchange for the lottery ticket worth $50,000. I stop the video. I put my phone back in my pocket. I tell them they just sign away any right to this money. Every penny of it. And I have video proof. Derek explodes. He is screaming. He is calling me every name in the book. He is lunging at me, but Stacy holds him back. He is threatening to sue me. He is threatening to kill me. He is saying this does not count, that I tricked him, that no judge in the world will honor this. I tell him to try. I tell him I will see him in court. And when I do, I will bring the video. I will bring the signed document. I will bring a lawyer who costs more per hour than Derek has ever made in a month, and I will win. I grabbed the duffel bag I left by the door this morning, the one packed with everything I care about, my clothes, my laptop, the few pictures I have of Mom and Dad before they got sick. I walk out. Derek is still screaming. Stacy is crying. The door slams shut behind me, and I do not look back. 3 months later, Derek tried to sue me. His lawyer was a guy who advertised on bus benches and had a website that looked like it was designed in 1998. The case lasted exactly one hearing. The judge watched the video. She read the signed document. She asked Derek if that was his signature. He said yes. She dismissed the case with prejudice, meaning he could never file it again. Derek's lawyer sent me a bill for $4,000 in legal fees that I was under no obligation to pay. I sent it back with a note that said good luck collecting. Without my money, Derek could not keep up with the mortgage payments. He tried. He really did. He got a job at a warehouse. Same kind of work I have been doing for years. But he could not handle it. He showed up late. He complained. He got fired after 6 weeks. Stacy tried working extra hours at the nail salon, but it was not enough, not even close. The bank sent warnings, then notices, then certified letters. Foreclosure proceedings began 4 months after I left. I did not find out about it right away. I had moved, new apartment, new phone number, new life. I was working on investing the money, setting up trusts, talking to financial advisors who wore suits that cost more than my old truck. But I kept an eye on the house. I had Google alerts set up for the address, property records, court filings. I wanted to know when it happened. And one day it did. The bank repossessed the house. Derek and Stacy were evicted. The property was listed for auction. I could have let someone else buy it. I could have walked away and never thought about that house again. But I did not. I created an LLC, a limited liability company with a name that meant nothing, Cascade Property Holdings. It was registered to a P.O. box, managed by a lawyer who would never reveal my name, completely anonymous. And through that LLC, I bought the house at auction. Cash offer. No inspection. No negotiation. The house that my parents died in. The house that I saved. The house that Derek inherited. It was mine now. Derek and Stacy had moved into a cramped apartment across town. The kind of place with thin walls and a landlord who does not fix anything. They were drowning. Derek could not hold down a job. Stacy was working double shifts just to cover rent and groceries. 2 weeks after I bought the house, Derek received a letter. It was from Cascade Property Holdings. It informed him that while the property had been repossessed, the new owner was willing to offer him an opportunity. He could move back into the house. Stay in the home he had lost, but only as a tenant. The terms were laid out clearly. $2,500 a month in rent. First and last month due up front. A 1-year lease. No pets. No smoking. No modifications to the property. Rent due on the 1st of every month. Late fees after the 5th. It was a standard lease. Nothing predatory. Nothing illegal. Just market rate for a house that size in that neighborhood. Derek had no idea who owned Cascade Property Holdings. The management company that handled the day-to-day operations was a third-party firm 3 counties away. Everything was done through email and automated payments. He took the deal, because what choice did he have? I watched from a distance as he moved back in. I saw the moving truck pull up. I saw him and Stacy carry boxes through the front door, the same door I had walked out of 6 months earlier. He was living in the house again, but this time he was paying for it. Paying me. The first rent payment hit my account on the 1st of the month. $2,500. Transferred electronically. Processed automatically. I was sitting in my new house when the notification came through. Not a mansion. Not some ridiculous showpiece. Just a nice, comfortable place in a quiet neighborhood. Paid for in cash. No mortgage. No debt. No Derek. My phone buzzed. Rent payment received. Derek Thompson. $2,500. I smiled. Derek still does not know. He thinks some faceless investment company bought the house. He thinks he is paying rent to strangers. He complains about it, I am sure. He probably tells people how unfair it is that he lost his childhood home to corporate vultures. He has no idea that every month his rent payment goes directly into my account. He has no idea that I am his landlord. I did not destroy him. I did not ruin his life. I did not take everything away from him. I just made him pay his own way. For the first time in his life, Derek has to work. He has to budget. He has to show up on time and follow the rules, because if he does not, he loses his home. Again. And every month, without knowing it, he pays me for the privilege of living in the house I saved. People ask me sometimes if I feel guilty, if I regret what I did, if I wish I had just given him some of the money and moved on. I do not. Derek spent 3 years treating me like a servant. He manipulated me. He used me. He held my future hostage because he knew I was too scared to fight back. And when I finally had the chance to escape, he tried to take that too. So no, I did not feel guilty. I did not cheat him. I did not lie to him. I gave him exactly what he wanted. A lottery ticket worth $50,000. The fact that it turned out to be fake is his problem, not mine. He signed the document, voluntarily, on camera, with a witness. He made his choice. Now, he gets to live with it. I still have the video saved, backed up in 5 different places. I watch it sometimes, late at night, when I need a reminder that I am not the naive kid I used to be. I see Derek's face. I hear his voice. I am signing it voluntarily. And I smile, because I won, not with anger, not with violence, not with some dramatic confrontation. I won with patience, with planning, with cold, calculated strategy. I played the long game, and I played it better than Derek ever could. Last week, I got another notification. Rent payment received. Derek Thompson, $2,500. I was having coffee on my back porch when it came through. The sun was shining. The air was cool. I had nowhere to be and nothing to worry about. I picked up my phone. I looked at the number, $2,500. And I laughed, because somewhere across town, my brother was working a job he hated, scraping together money to pay rent on a house that used to be his. And he has no idea that the person he is paying is me. Mom wanted me to take care of the family. Dad wanted me to protect the house. I did both. I just did it my way. The house is safe. It is cared for. It is maintained. The mortgage is paid off. The lawn is mowed. The roses Mom planted are blooming again. And Derek? Derek is finally learning what it means to be responsible. He is learning what it feels like to work for something, to pay his own bills, to stand on his own 2 feet. I did not ruin him. I saved him. I just made sure he paid me back along the way. So if you ever find yourself trapped, if you ever feel like someone is using you, if you ever think there is no way out, remember this. There's always a way out. You just have to be smarter than the person holding the cage. And sometimes, the best revenge is not destruction. It is watching someone pay rent on their own consequences. Every single month.